Now, I have no idea if the game is actually going to be good, but what I do want to say is that the trailer actually managed to capture the essence of what makes Warhammer 40k great.
Command! This is first platoon! We've lost the square! We can't hold it!
So this is brilliant by showcasing what the average soldier has to go through. Because a lot of Warhammer 40k games, they focus on the Space Marines, and it shows, oh, look how glorious to go into battle, my brothers, and they have chainsaws, and they're never afraid, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's that great of a storytelling. I mean, it can be good, but it's a lot cooler to focus on the life of the average soldier and to see the desperation, to see just how difficult it is for them to fight, even against some of the more less dangers of the Warhammer 40k world. And then you have the Space Marines coming in, and then you get to see how awesome the Space Marines are in comparison to the difficult life that the soldier has to go through. And this is what I'm talking about. You have a company of soldiers that are being completely decimated by a couple of Xenos that really aren't that powerful if you think about in comparison to what other things are in the Warhammer 40k universe. And they're completely hopeless, they're wanting to retreat, and then you have just 3 Space Marines. Just 3 of them, and they're mopping up the floor with those Xenos. And if you didn't have like this little montage from before with the soldiers struggling and they're almost losing, you wouldn't understand just how powerful the Space Marines are. Because you'd be like, hey, I know they're going down there and the Xenos are very weak or whatever. But when presented in this fashion, it actually shows just how powerful the Space Marines are. And the reason that other people in that galaxy have nothing but awe and admiration towards them. I love the face of utter disgust and disdain that the Space Marine has when he sees the Xenos. But this is exactly according to lore. This is how they would behave. Now, what's interesting is that in the universe of Warhammer 40k, the Space Marines aren't necessarily the good guys. It also depends on what type of story you're having. So yeah, if a planet is being overrun by the Xenos and the Space Marines are coming to help, then sure, but you can have an alternative story where a planet just doesn't want to pay taxes to the Imperium, or maybe the leaders, the higher-ups of that planet are trying to engage in some cultist activity. And then the Space Marines come, and they don't discriminate, they just shoot everyone and they let the Emperor sort them out. So, from one position, you can have the Space Marines as heroes. From a different position, you can have them as villains. And then you can also have other Space Marine chapters, which would completely look at the soldiers with disgust, because they look at the soldiers as being weak. They view them as being inadequate, and they wouldn't help them. They wouldn't do anything. In fact, if they're in the way, they might even kill them. They wouldn't care about friendly fire. So there are just so many interesting stories you can tell from the Warhammer lore. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a TV show based on it anytime soon. And if they ever make a TV show, it's probably not going to be a really good one. But if I were to make one, that's how I would do it. I would focus on the life of a civilian who then gets drafted and becomes a soldier. And he witnesses all the carnage and all the bad things that are happening around him. And just towards the end, when everything seems hopeless, like one or maybe two Space Marines arrive and they save the day. With that said, I don't know if this game is going to be really good. I mean, the trailer does show promise. They definitely seem to understand the lore. But unfortunately, usually the people who make the cinematics, they're not really the same as the people who write the entire story for the game. So, cinematic-wise, this is great. I'm interested in it. I like the first Space Marine game. But will the gameplay be nice? Will there be interesting things? I mean... So it definitely looks promising. It does what a trailer should and gets me interested in the game. I'm very excited to see what else they're coming up with. A little bit disappointed though that it's not really the type of game that I want. Again, I would love to see a game where you get to play as a soldier. And one that's more based in lore and story. Because it really is so depressing. I mean, it's a universe that has so much rich and so much beautiful lore. And very few games want to explore it. I mean, most of the games that you play are like a Space Marine and you're going to battle, rawr, and look how cool it is. It's like, oh, you're BTFOing all the Xenos and blah, blah, blah. But no, like, I want, it's grim dark. Give me some of that grim darkness. Well, a survival horror game in Warhammer 40k, wouldn't that be great? Like, you're trapped on a planet that's invaded by the Xenos and you have to find a way out. And it's kind of like Resident Evil-ish. That would be cool. Yeah. Too bad no one wants to hire me so that I can pitch an idea for them. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. Personally, I think if you like the first Space Marine, you're definitely going to like the sequel. I mean, from what I saw in the trailers, it's what the first game was, and then you have extra added on it. So why wouldn't you like it? Tell me what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you guys there.